Hello and welcome. This will be a reading for Gemini for July 2023. Welcome to the table, Gemini. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'm an intuitive reader. Will be using a 10-card spread, 5 along the top row and 5 along the bottom row. I'll be talking about those cards as they come out, and then I'll be overlaying those cards again with a second deck of cards, again with 10 cards, and talking about those, and that should give us a pretty good idea of the energy coming in for the month of July for Gemini. So I shouldn't need to use the third deck, although I do have one on hand if we do need any clarification. Okay, let's start this reading. First card out, the Wheel in reverse, 5 of Wands in the upright position. Funny, everybody's been getting this card. The Hierophant, Prince of Swords, so this is the Knight of Swords, and the 10 of Wands in reverse. Okay, on the bottom row, we have the 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords in the upright position, 4 of Pentacles in the upright position, 3 of Wands in the upright position, and the Magician in the reverse position. On the bottom of the deck, I'll let you have a look first. Oh, Queen of Pentacles, lovely. Okay, so she's there on the bottom of the deck. So she has some bearing on the reading, but she's only contributing to the reading. She's not really putting a lot of strength into the reading, and she doesn't stand alone. She's just putting the energy out there. I'll talk about her first, because this is prosperity and abundance and strength of standing in your convictions, standing in your power. So this is a beautiful, strong card, as you can see. It's very, very opulent. So there's this lovely radiance coming from somebody who stands in their power. This is self-confidence, self-respect, all of those nice things. And that is knowing that what you say is what you mean, and you will stand your ground, and you are in an area of abundance. And that means abundance also with your spirit. So that requires an alignment with your spirit to be able to be abundant, to be fruitful, to put forth and to create. So that's wonderful. And this is a very grounded energy. So somebody who's abundant and knows where they stand on the earth, on the earthly plane, they're quite well balanced. Okay, we've got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position. So there it is in the upright position. I'll turn it around so you can have a look in the reverse position. So in the reverse position, I think there is some delay in the wheel moving, but it's an indication that there is change afoot. Your circumstances will be changing, be pushed along whether you like it or not. So this is change. Often it's rapid change. It's usually change that's beneficial towards you, but it's in the reverse position. So and I'm focusing on the bull. So a bull is a little bit slower than an eagle, for example. So maybe the process is a little bit slower. So that's okay. No need to be alarmed about that. So it's going with that flow sort of energy, but in this case, it's a little bit slow. And it's funny, everybody has had this card, the 5 of Wands, or the majority of people have had this lately. So it does feel like we're all struggling a little bit, and maybe the energy just feels a little bit overwhelming or a little bit turbulent. It doesn't feel anything to be alarmed about. It just feels a little bit like people are struggling to find their balance. So that's all I'm reading into this, because there's no harm done here. This is almost like practice fighting or children fighting. There's a lot of flurry and a lot of skirmish and a lot of loud noise, but nothing really happening that's damaging to anyone. Here we've got the Hierophant. So this is very much a card of tradition, doing things in an established way. This can be a spiritual guide or a spiritual teacher. This can be the church. This can be a government facility, or anything like a school facility, anything where there's an established way of doing things, an order. It can be governance as well. So it can be political. It can be any one of those things. So this is also about having the knowledge This is unlocking the knowledge, therefore you have the power. And as you can see, this Pope or priest here has the power, and they're his acolytes there with their heads bowed in front. They're learning, so scholarly learning. So this could indicate that somebody's undertaking some learning. Or it could also indicate somebody who's taking a renewed interest in their spiritual growth or the church life. But it can also be that it's right in the middle of the reading. So it could also be that you're having a strong focus on traditional values. So I'll just leave it at that at this stage. Here we've got the Prince of Swords or the Knight of Swords, as you can see. Great haste, flamboyant, rushing in. Can be, the seeking the truth, a legal decision, but something that's quite hasty. So it scatters all the energy, as you can see by this card. When this person or this energy hits you, it causes a flurry, it causes a rapid change perhaps with the information that's coming in towards you, but it can also warn against haste. But it's not in the reverse position, so you could be receiving some legal news, something that changes your life, because it does cause a little bit of a upheaval or a little bit of a sudden change. So we'll have a look more as we get to the reading. This is a lovely card to be in the reverse aspect. As you can see, he's carrying quite a heavy burden, still needs to go some way up those steps, and the last bit in this case is the hardest part, as you can see. The climbing, there is blood on the tower, as you can see. So having carried perhaps a heavy burden, too much responsibility for quite some time, it's in the reverse aspect. So it's telling me that you've probably come to the end of that really difficult time of carrying too much responsibility, too much weight on your shoulders, and sometimes that can last quite a considerable amount of time. Even if you factor in the number 10, you may have had 10 years of heavy responsibility, and that can be the case. Maybe he's gathered one of those wands every year. The very fact that there's blood on the tower tells me that this has been quite an arduous and long-standing energy, and it looks like it's come to the end, which is lovely. So that's really, really good. And the Wheel of Fortune here will push that further away. But as I say, it feels a little bit slow. Eight of Swords, the restrictive energy around you. So the Wheel of Fortune will push this away. Again, this is a circular energy, as you can see, surrounding her. She does have a way out. She's choosing to stay inside that circle. That's kind of like going round and round your head with the same mental problems and maybe not being able to try and find a solution. And sometimes it's just reworking the same energy that you tend to fall back on. So it's good if you can let that go, but it's not always possible. Here we are making a legal decision perhaps, or making a decision that could be quite difficult, going either way. This is asking you to pause and reflect, think about it carefully, close your eyes, withdraw within, and think with your mind's eye, think with your intuition, and think with your heart rather than your head. Sometimes that brings a certain amount of clarity that you can't otherwise get when you are thinking with your head and with your eyes wide open. Sometimes just retreating and closing down, sometimes just going and lying on the bed and thinking about your problem, and just maybe drifting off a little bit is to loosen that connection with the reality of their day-to-day life, and just sort of drift off into that half-sleep state. Sometimes a decision is much easier to come by. Underneath this Hierophant, here we've got, so this is very much traditional thinking and stability. So these two cards together, they're one on top of the other. So you've got the Hierophant here and the Four of Pentacles. So this is very much tradition. This could be talking about a house and a home because it's money and investments. So doing things in a very traditional way. Or, Gemini, it could also be that you're very focused on a traditional way of building wealth rather than taking risks, say on a stock market. This is maybe building wealth via your home and secure investments. So This is about security, hanging on tightly. This is very traditional. So, and both the actions here, it's actually, you've got 3 actions here that have a little bit of a cross action. As you can see, this has got his arms crossed in a sort of a way over the top of the pentacle. You've got the crossing of the keys here, and you have the crossing of the sword here, so across the chest. So maybe there's been some blockage in achieving this stability and security in the past. That is possible. Maybe there's been a real struggle to get anywhere here, to follow this traditional path, but it is going to be unlocked. And it does, this card particularly has a very strong cross energy to it for me. Blocking, and I do think again that this Wheel of Fortune is gradually going to release this blocked energy. If there's blocked energy here, this feels fairly blocked, and it feels like a big struggle going on here. So expansion is possible. Here we go. This is travel, looking beyond your current horizons, turning your back on the things that are closed off behind you, and looking outwards, looking across the oceans, looking for new opportunities perhaps, considering whether to move, and that could be part of this locked stability. Perhaps you are thinking about moving overseas or moving to a distant place, and this can even be, you know, thinking about relatives in distant countries. It can be about travel, but it's definitely about expansion. And as you can see, there are multiple ships coming in, so bringing goods from overseas, or looking at what opportunities lie for you in different places or different countries. It's very much a very strong and very positive energy with this card. This card actually feels particularly strong today. It feels stronger than some of the others. So the energy coming off this card today, I think, is quite potent. Here we've got this is the Magician or the Alchemist in the reverse position here. I'll show it to you. So in the reverse position and under the 10 of Wands. So I think you've been wishing for a release from this responsibility for quite some time, and, you know, kind of wishing that there was a way that you could make things happen. And again, it's got a little bit of this spinning energy. Can you see this? Where are we? The spinning energy here, and that feels a little bit like this. That spinning energy of wishing and wanting and hoping for things to manifest and to change and to go in your favour, so that you will create a beautiful wand of opportunity here. Something, it's like wishing upon a star, wishing for things that you hope to manifest in the world. And it looks like here, you know, these are sort of manifestations, but these have become burdensome. And these are the things that you've created in the past, but they're feeling heavy, and I think you would like to. And this is a card too of feeling freedom, of cutting through, and freedom, no matter what it takes, you're just going to cut and slash your way through. So this is mental freedom as well. So this desire for freedom and this expansion is very, very strong, and you would like to manifest and create new opportunities in a different place, in a different environment. You're still looking for this stability, but I think you are hoping to create that in a different environment. Let's clarify this card, because here again, this is actually financial security as well. So that is telling me that is part of the big focus for you in July, continuing, because I think you've been focused on this for a while. But now here, I think you're tired of the constraints, you're tired of the struggle, you're wondering if a better opportunity lies elsewhere, and you're perhaps thinking about that and examining the options you have for yourself, and then trying to figure out whether you can make that work. Will that lessen your responsibilities, or will that give you more? So that's part of the problem. The conundrum always is, if I perform my little bit of magic, the danger always is that you create a new set of wands that you need to carry on your back. Like everything, when you make a change in one area, it changes everything in its own way, but sometimes when you step into a new environment, you suddenly realise you've got a whole lot of new responsibilities. So there's that weighing up, this desire for this breakthrough, this clarity, looking beyond where you are now, but you need to do that examination carefully. Okay, so don't be in a rush, even though this card is actually talking about haste. Don't be in a rush that you trade one set of circumstances for an equally difficult new set of circumstances somewhere else. These cards have also been very well shuffled, but I will shuffle them so you can see them. And I'm going to overlay these cards now with a second deck, and we'll see what we can glean from these cards. One more, just so you can see they're well shuffled. All right, on the wheel. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups, Judgment, Knight of so Judgment in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, which is the Knight of Swords are right next to one another here in reverse and now in the upright position. So good, because this is warning against haste, which is what I was talking about here. But this one was in the upright position, so not being hasty, just being clever, okay, and analysing, using your analytical skills, not being in too much of a rush. So that's really good that this is in the reverse and then followed by the upright position. So that's excellent. Okay, the Five of Cups, Eight of Cups, the Devil, Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity, Page of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Okay, so what have we got here? Oh my goodness, the Sun. Can't be better than that. That's wonderful. The Sun is always talking about success and achievement and victory and joy and happiness and all of those positive, very positive energy. So you've got that underlying on top of this abundance with the Queen of Pentacles. So even though these are not really technically part of the reading, they do want to make their presence felt. So you do have, these are, as you can see, if you look at both of these cards, both from different decks, but there's opulence and abundance there, prosperity, vitality, good health, all of those things. So good health is a lovely one just to have in itself. So only I think most people will know once you've been in a period of bad health, you realise how valuable that is. Okay, Knight of Cups coming in. So this is something new energy that is coming in that will feel, it's more something that will make you feel good, or an opportunity for love, perhaps new love, new friendships, new connections. That's coming in slowly. So that's quite good. Slow and steady. It's not coming in particularly fast. It has a way to travel. And the travel is indicated here by this flurry on here on the stirrups and on the helmet. So something coming in, it may not be quite yet there. The Wheel of Fortune is telling me it's coming, but it may be a little bit slow. Here we've got Judgment. So you've got this Five of Wands. This is this struggle, this internal struggle. And you could be fighting off the kind of things that you think, this card can often be, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why are my circumstances like this? But I have heard it said, why not me? It may be me, it may be any one of these people. And this card is asking you to consider how you've reacted and adjusted to your circumstances. What did you make of the opportunities you've been given? What are you hoping for in the long term for the rest of your life? Because this is a resurrection card. It's in the reverse position. This is almost a karmic thing. So it's kind of asking you to examine what it is you want from your life and how you're going to go about getting it. Will that be done with a sense of integrity for the kind of things that you want for yourself or your family? So a little bit of an internal struggle here perhaps with this, but this is quite a powerful card. again, you've got the Wheel and Judgment right next to one another. So it does feel a little bit like this almost feels like a little bit of intervention, but again, coming a little bit slowly. So cosmic intervention or karmic intervention coming your way. You need to analyze and think about this and look at what opportunities lie before you and how much they're important to you, to your soul, to your development, to your long-term goal of what you hope to achieve on this earth. And I did talk about the Knight of Swords, so we won't talk about that again here. This has been a period of grief or disappointment on top of this Prince of Swords. So that may be connected here with this Judgment card. A little bit of karmic grief or, you know, circumstances that you couldn't control, because it does feel a little bit out of control because it's the Wheel of Fortune here and Judgment both in the reverse position. So this may be circumstances that you couldn't control. There's been periods of grief, darkness, depression, and sadness. But, you know, it's in the reverse position, so I think you're leaving that behind. Here we've also got 8 of Cups. So 8 of Cups is also very much walking away from something, but maybe you're choosing not to walk away. It's rather interesting, both the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Cups are in the upper, you know, the posture of all of these cards, as you can see, you know, sort of a little bit bowed down. I'll just try and hold those so that I can. As you can see, a little bit of low energy, something that's maybe held you back, made you feel depressed or low. Too much responsibility, too much grief, too many sad times. I think that's walking away from you. And here we've got this Devil energy. I don't know why that's in the upright position. So maybe you have got some sort of attachment to something. Now, it can be, you know, often this card is an indication of addictions or an attachment or an over-expression of something that you do on this earth. So maybe you devote too much time to something. So an over-expression is devoting too much time or too much energy to something. But it can also be dependence on something. So, you know, this is always a little bit of a troublesome card to have on the table. But it could be a mental process as well. So maybe your mental processes are, maybe you're dwelling too much on something because it's on top of the 8 of Swords. So something that gives you a mental conflict has perhaps been a bit of a struggling point for you. That's what I'll put it. I'll put it like that. It's interesting because we've got a Gemini reading and we have the pair there. So this could also be this internal struggle that I'm talking about here. You know, the two sides of your personality doing battle with one another, or, you know, your conscious and your subconscious mind constantly struggling and putting you out of balance, because there is something here about, as I said, over-attachment, addiction, or something like that. Got the Ace of Pentacles. So right here on top of the 2 of Swords, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So lovely, because you've got the Queen of Pentacles at the top here, and you've got the Sun, and we've got the Ace as well. So beautiful, beautiful energy. So this is a new opportunity coming in from the cosmos underneath the Judgment card. So maybe this is like a divine reward that may be coming towards you. It's where the cosmos tries to put things back into balance, because you may have been given too much of a share of responsibilities and sadness, and the cosmos always tries to put balance back in there. So this is where Judgment comes in. So that's talking about the balance. The cosmos is always seeking to balance things. So this opportunity may be as a result of these difficult times that you've had, and now maybe here is something lovely coming towards you, and it looks like it's going to cause you a decision of some sort, and hopefully this devil won't be involved in this decision-making process. And as you can see, this opportunity can take you into a new part of the land or a new space. So that's rather good. Here we've got the Page of Cups. Page of Cups, quite youthful. First love. somebody who's a little bit devoted, wearing their heart on their sleeve. So, and wanting to receive some love, more happiness, more contentment, more friendships. You've got the Knight of Cups coming in towards you, so much more. This is slightly more mature energy, so this is somebody who's travelled some distance. This is quite a young energy, sort of more of a first love kind of an energy. So coming in towards you, and you're very receptive to that. So as you can see, they're facing one another. So maybe a new friendship coming towards you, which would be very nice, or a new love connection. Just an opening of the heart here. One for, somebody slightly more mature, somebody slightly younger. So an opening of the heart between two people, perhaps of different ages, which is quite nice. And here we've got the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position. And this is this underneath this Prince of Swords. So this, analysing, loss, defeat, grief. And this is slow and steady, but coming in slowly, more slowly than you want. But this is looking again to this long-term, steady future, a steady stream of money coming towards you. But if it's in the reverse position, so it may be some way off yet. But we'll have a little look here. It's this card, the last one, is moving on to better times. So as you can see, taking your family with you, moving on to better times, pushing ahead, wanting only to see something better and something different. Okay, so this is where I think it's on top of this little bit of magic, wanting to see a better outlook for your future. But you've got the Sun here and you've got the Queen of Pentacles overriding, or just sitting there in the background to shine a light to say to you, things will be better. The Wheel of Fortune itself indicates that times will be better. And the Six of Swords, I think I called it the Six of Wands. The Six of Swords is always a card, say, moving on to better times. So, and they're taking, the family is going as a unit. So it's very important you see that also the Six of Swords have got their points downwards. So it's that mental release of moving into a space where you know you're going into a better place. So Gemini, that's as far as I'm going to take it today. I do hope you've gleaned some enlightenment from the reading, and I hope that it reflects back to you the energy that's coming towards you in July. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.